What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jimmy Talks. So, for years now, we have all watched the promises get made and then broken. We have all seen the big speeches and the rallies, only to be left waiting for any real change. So, the feeling that things are getting worse and not better is not in your head. It's actually real. So, the recent election of Zoran Mdami in New York City is the final proof that the old way of doing politics is finished. It shows exactly why the GOP keeps losing, and it points to the only way forward. Let's be clear about who Zoran Mdami is. He is not an American. He was born in Uganda and became a citizen here. He is a Muslim who follows a political idea called Marxism, which has brought misery and failure everywhere it's been tried. By every traditional measure, he should not be a winning candidate. So why did he win? It's quite simple. He talked to people about the things that actually matter in their daily lives. He talked about the sky-high cost of rent. He talked about the struggle to afford groceries. People are hurting financially, and he at least pretended to care about that financial pain. So when people are drowning economically, they're going to grab onto anything that can help them. And this is the Republican Party's great failure. They have forgotten the most basic job of a politician. That is to make life better for the people who vote for them. Think back to the big promises. The economy was going to be fixed. It's going to be great. They said all that. Great. That's cool. Whatever. But what happened? We still go to the grocery store. We get our cart of groceries, and it still costs twice the amount of money it did a few years ago. You fill up your car with gas, and it's like a pain. For Gen Z, the idea of feeling a home still feels like a fantasy. So this is not an accident. It's just a result of bad policy. The government printed too much money and made it harder to produce our own energy. It let supply chains break. So when given power, the GOP promised to fix this. They used the right words, but the results never came. The cost of living keeps going up. Many economists are saying we're already in a recession. The average family definitely feels this in their paycheck. Then there's the biggest promise of all, immigration. Since 2020, over 55 million people have entered this country in 5 years. Just think about that for a second. 55 million. This is not normal immigration. It is an invasion. It is a deliberate change to the very character of the country. The promise was a wall. The promise was the laws would be enforced. We're going to mass deport everybody. All the illegals are going to get sent back to where they came from. But what did we get? Definitely not that. We didn't get nearly as much deportations as they said we were going to get. We just have the DHS page on X putting some cool ads out. But our towns and cities are still changing demographically. So when a political party fails on its most important promise, which is to keep the nation safe and secure, it does not deserve to win. But the hardest thing to understand for the Republicans, the GOP, is their obsession with a foreign country, Israel. This is the issue that is finally breaking people's patience. Think about it. American politicians, especially the GOP, talk about Israel constantly. They constantly cry about anti-Semitism and making an anti-Semitism task force, this, that, and the other. They vote to send billions of dollars, American taxpayer dollars, to Israel, which is a wealthy country with its own strong military. They seem to care more about Israel's borders than our own. We send billions to this country with free health care. What about ours? We spend more on their health care than we do on ours. And people are asking, why? Why do we send so much money to Israel? Why are they so obsessed with Israel? And the answer is simple. Just follow the money. A huge number of U.S. politicians take money from groups like AIPAC, which lobby for Israel. It's a simple transaction, really. The politician gets campaign money, and in return, they promise to always support Israel, no matter what. It's literally that simple. It's just that simple. So now the American people are starting to see this. And, this used to be a taboo subject. You even mentioned this, like, dude, you are gone. You're canceled from everything. You're unemployable. Like, they see these politicians talking about the need to be careful with money, and they spend too much, and then that same politician votes to send billions of dollars to Israel. They hear about American soldiers being put in harm's way for conflicts in other countries. And honestly, people are just tired of it. They are sick of their money. They're sick of their family members being used for other countries' problems, specifically Israel. This is the biggest reason that the GOP loses. They have become a party of mixed messages. They promise to put America first, make America great again, keep America great, and I was all aboard the MAGA train in 2016. And it's really such a shame what Trump has turned into, because really his actions show that he puts a foreign country first. A person who can't pay their rent does not care about the politics in Israel. They care about their own life. A family watching their neighborhood become unrecognizable with foreign accents and foreign languages and people that don't look like them and people who don't pray like them don't care about foreign wars in Israel. They care about their own well-being. When people are given a choice between a party that does nothing for them but loves Israel and a party that at least talks about helping them, even if their ideas are bad and they're probably going to fail, they are going to choose the one that talks about helping. So the Democrats understand this basic idea. You have to give people something. Mamdani, he talked about rent control. He talked about housing. He spoke to an actual issue. You know, his Republican opponent probably offered the same political rhetoric that nobody gives a fuck about, all while taking money from the same donors who ensure nothing ever really changes. So this failure is actually why the dissident right is growing. We're not just a fringe group anymore. We are the only people that can connect the dots and get the whole picture here. We see that the bad economy, the open borders, and the focus on Israel are all a part of the same problem. The problem is that our leaders have stopped working for us. The old GOP cannot be fixed and must be replaced, and needs to be replaced by a movement with clear, simple priorities that put Americans first. First, we need an economy for Americans. This means using taxes on foreign goods to protect our own jobs. It means stopping the government from printing so much money that our savings become worthless. We need to have our own oil. We need to have our own gas production. We need to make energy cheap. We need policies that help American families have more children because our people are our greatest treasure. We are being replaced right now. So why don't we give them an incentive to actually have children? White people, I mean. Yeah, this channel is pro-white. Who cares? That's who started America. That's who's lived in America the longest. Got a fucking problem with that? Go rage in the comments. Go soy jack. Who cares? Unsubscribe. Just leave. Nothing wrong with that. You're allowed to be pro-black, pro-Chinese, pro-Israel, pro-Jew, whatever. We're all sick of that fucking bullshit already. Second, we must stop the invasion at the border. We need to close the border completely. Then we need to start the long process of sending people back who broke our laws to come here. A country that can't control its borders is not a country anymore. Come on. Third, and most importantly, we need a foreign policy that only cares about American interest. I've seen in my comments, people are like, Jimmy, you want to be an isolationist? No, actually, I just don't want Israel to control America. It's quite simple, really. It's like, oh, you don't want to send money to Israel? What are you, an isolationist? That's not how a country should be. You want America to be an empire, but you want to be an isolationist. Never said that once. I just don't want Israel to control America. Not one American dollar should be sent to Israel ever again. Not one American life should be lost defending another country's border. We're funding a genocide right now. I'm not cool with funding bombs to go kill kids. Does this really need to be said? Is this the radical position nowadays? Like, are you fucking serious? Come on. Well, reality check. Get on the fucking earth. Put your feet on the grass and get grounded for a second. Is this really something we need to argue about right now? We have to break this power of foreign lobbies that have controlled our politicians for far too long. I know. Radical take. So the election of Zoran Mdami is a warning. It shows that people will vote for anyone who seems to care about their struggles, even if his solutions are terrible. The old GOP offers no solutions and doesn't seem to care. Their losses are their own fault. They only care about Israel. The future belongs to those of us who are brave enough to say the truth plainly. America must come first. Our people must come first. Our needs must come first. There is no other way. Israel does not come first anymore. Until our leaders understand this, they will keep losing. The anger you feel is justified. It is the anger of someone who has been ignored and betrayed. And they didn't even just lose in New York City. There was like a sweeping Democrat wave of wins. The dissident right is not just complaining about the problem. We are building the only answer that makes sense. This is why the GOP keeps losing. We owe them no fucking loyalty. ever again. You're never going to get my vote because he's the better one. He's just slightly better, you know. Okay, but what do they actually do for me? Both of you, Democrats and Republicans, don't do shit for me. But why do I owe you a vote just because, well, you don't want the other guy to win? None of them do shit for me. We need an actual American first leader. We are building the only answer that makes sense here anymore. Okay? That's all from me today. God bless you and your families. Jimmy Talks out. Oh. I almost forgot. I'm not even editing that out. I almost forgot the most important part. America first, bitch. We are the only answer. Jimmy Talks out.